I don't go camping anymore. It's not because of the cold or the bugs or the lack of reception. It's because of what happened 2 years ago in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm telling you this now, not to scare you, but to warn you. If you ever hear your name called out in the wild, do not answer. I was alone, and this was my first mistake. I needed a break from the city, from the noise. I hiked about 6 miles off the main trail, found a perfect clearing near a creek, and set up my tent. The first night was peaceful. Isolation felt like a heavy blanket. It was comforting. It was the second night when the feeling hit me. You know that sensation when you walk into a room and you know someone has been arguing? The air feels electric, thick. The woods felt like that. The birds had stopped singing hours before sunset. The crickets weren't chirping. There was a dead, heavy silence. I built my fire up high. I sat there staring into the flames, trying to shake the feeling that I was being watched from the tree line. Then I heard it. Hey. It wasn't a shout. It was a conversational volume. Just, hey. It came from directly behind me. I spun around, flashlight in hand, beam cutting through the darkness. Nothing but trees and brush. My heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I told myself it was the wind. I told myself it was fatigue. I turned back to the fire. Hey, can you help me? This time it was louder, and it wasn't just a voice. It was my voice. Not my voice on a recording. It wasn't the voice I hear in my head when I think. It was the sound coming out of my own throat. I stood up, making way toward my tent. Who's there? I shouted. I tried to sound tough, but I sounded pathetic. In the darkness, in every direction at once, the voice answered. Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? It was mimicking me, but it wasn't an echo. It was overlapping like a choir of me's, all saying it was with different inflections, different tones. One sounded angry, one sounded like it was laughing, one sounded hungry. I scrambled into my tent, zipped it shut. I know, a thin layer of nylon isn't going to stop a killer, but it was all I had. I grabbed my hunting knife, and I sat in the dark, listening. For an hour, silence. Then right against the fabric of the tent, right by my ear. Let me in. It's cold out here. It sounded exactly like my mother. My mother, who's dead for 5 years. It had her cadence, her warmth. Sweetheart, please, just unzip the door. I want to see you. I squeezed my eyes shut. I gripped the knife so hard my hand went numb. Tears were streaming down my face. It sounded so real. I wanted to open it. I wanted to believe she was there. But then the voice glitched. Sweetheart, please, just zip the door. It sounded like a recording zipping. Then the voice dropped 3 octaves into a guttural, wet growl that vibrated through the ground at my feet. Open it. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I sat there until the sun came up. When I finally unzipped the tent in the morning light, the campsite was empty. But the ashes of my fire were disturbed. Someone or something had walked through the hot coals barefoot. There were footprints leading away from the fire, but they weren't human footprints. They were like hands, long fingered hands pressed deep into the mud, leading back into the thicket. I packed up and ran. I didn't stop running till I hit the highway. I haven't been back to the woods since, but sometimes when I'm alone in my apartment and the street lights flicker on outside, I hear it. Just a whisper on the other side of my door. It uses my voice and it asks to come in.